I don't necessarily feel like it's you, because you're the one that gets disappointed over the fact that things are not, moving in the way that you would hope they would. Right? So with the Hangman, I feel like you're waiting on the other person. The other person is bound up with some other stuff, and it's like they need to take care of that before getting involved with you. Right? But waiting on them. You coming in with the Fool, you're ready to go ahead and do this. There's nothing holding you back. Right? And it's not that you're being foolish. I think that, for you, it's easy to make that choice to get involved with them because it's something that you want to do. It's not that big of a deal. With them coming in as the King of Pentacles, this could be the person you're dealing with, male, female, earth, I don't care. But what I get from this is that they may be coming in with, this kind of projection of, I have something that I can give, right? Like I can be, supportive in this relationship, but not emotionally. Like, let me show you, right? Let me show you that I can be dependable. So then you move into the Page of Wands, which is exactly what you want to hear, right? So there's the communication going back and forth. It sounds really good. Everything's going great. But they are showing the Nine of Swords, which to me is saying that they're not really being open about the way that they're thinking. There's a lot of fear and anxiety around, giving to this and working on this. They initially come in with the feeling of, yes, I'm here, but then it's like, no, I'm not. Mentally, I'm not. Like, I'm not prepared for this. There may be a lot of fear and anxiety. They may be regretting becoming available to you, but I don't think it's your fault. It's not anything that you did. It's their own bullshit. Now, you moving into the Five of Cups, it shows the disappointment, because it's not like they're trying to hide this from you, but they're trying to work on it. But for you, you may be a little bit too disappointed here or let down when it comes to this person, and you may not be willing to put in the same amount of effort, but eventually you do. Okay, so they're still wanting to work on things. They may have fears and anxieties, which, is understandable, but they're holding up the show here. Right? And you're the one that's waiting for them to start getting a different perspective here, especially with the Nine of Swords. But, with the Eight of Pentacles, it's a lot of hard work, a lot of effort that you're putting into this, right? But you lead into the Hermit. Now, with the King of Swords being in the middle, as far as the outcome goes, I think for you, you may get a little bit like emotionally detached, or it is them. You're looking at things from a different point of view now, and they are too, right? Especially if things are constantly being held up. So maybe this isn't something that we should be working on anymore because of the Hermit. This is where the both of you are kind of like reflecting on everything, especially them, and thinking, maybe this isn't something that we should do, because if there's all this hard work that needs to be put into it, then maybe, logically, right, then that's not something you should be involved in, right? It's like totally negating the fact that, sometimes we have to put in some work into relationships, right? Sometimes we got to work some shit out, but when you put in that type of effort, it pays off. But it's almost like they're looking at it from the perspective of, well, maybe it's not meant to be then, because it shouldn't be this way. But that's not accurate, and that's totally shutting down the emotions, right? Maybe if you guys take some time apart here and reflect on things and think about it, things may go in a different direction here. But the thing is you have to get here first. You have to get here first before things can change. So with the Eight of Pentacles, right? Hard work, putting in the hard work. That's all you're focused on. You're putting in all the effort here, right? With the Seven of Wands, you're like, look, I'm putting in all this effort here, even though I'm kind of disappointed in you right now, right? Like, I'm still here. But damn it, I can't be the only one. I can't be the only one doing this. For them, they're showing the Knight of Pentacles like, look, you're not the only one doing this. I'm there with you, but I'm being a little bit more cautious as far as moving forward. Now, then there comes, this logical reasoning, right? Like, I don't see it that way. Some people may look at that and think, yeah, that makes sense, But for me, I'm looking at it like, why go through the motions of all of this to get to a point where you think that maybe this isn't something that should be worked on? You are being a little bit more harsh with them about that in the way that you see things here. And there is the disagreement, the misunderstanding. I don't necessarily feel like it's bitter fighting or anything like that, but you guys aren't hearing each other. but you are being very clear and direct with the Knight of Swords. But they're like almost shutting it out with their own, you know, logical reasoning. But then you have the Star and the Knight of Cups. So here's the thing, right? Once you get past that point, there is potential here to have hope restored in this situation if they become more emotionally available. It's almost like, you know, after some reflection here, they realize how stupid they're being, and they open up and start to follow, you know, how they feel, you know, where their heart is leading them, which is right toward you, which is bringing this hope back up. But you're going to go through some bullshit before you get there, right? And I understand it, but I don't. I don't understand the fear and anxiety on their part. That's what I don't get. And then the Three of Wands, it's not bad. It's not bad. So the way that you come into this, with the Two of Pentacles, you're talking about somebody who is embarrassed. Okay, they feel like they can't approach another person here. The thing is I don't think that you're actually approaching them just yet because of the Two of Swords. It's almost like looking at it going, I don't want to be faced with that. I don't want to be like rejected, you know, because this is really about somebody who's looking at an offer going, I don't know if I want that. Now, if you do approach somebody here that you may feel like it's not that you're not good enough, right? It's just you're not comfortable with approaching them, or maybe, I don't know. I need to clarify that. Let's just say for now that you are a little bit hesitant when it comes to approaching a person. Okay, they may reject you. That may what happens initially. Now, moving into the King of Cups, there's definitely the level of romance here. You may be feeling that big time. We may be talking about the person you're dealing with, male, female, water, don't care, right? But with the Ace of Swords here, it's this person may have those feelings for you, but with the Ace of Swords, there's like some truth. There's like a need for trust and truth. So they may be being honest with you about, you know, what's kind of going on with their life and stuff like that. And I do think that they feel the same way, but there's a reason why they're not accepting, you know, your offer or your advancement, so to speak. But the thing is where you lead out is you end up having an encounter with this person because of the Three of Wands. You feel that, or you realize that the both of you feel the same way about each other. But I'm a little bit... And then, yeah, so all of that kind of gets cleared up here. And it looks like, you know, this could potentially lead to a pretty good relationship. But man, there's some shit that's got to get cleared out. The Page of Swords, you're talking about the stalker, somebody who's literally up your ass, right? Like, you know, and that may be the problem here. For some of you, I think that, you know, if I'm being honest here, if we're talking about it's worth waiting for, right? You may be the person here that's kind of like constantly, hey, and they're like, no, right? But the thing is that they open up and they're a little bit more honest with, you know, how they're feeling, especially here, and, you know, what their intentions are, things like that. And there's trust. But it looks like they start to take control of, you know, where this relationship is heading. Now, we could switch everything up on this. This could be them constantly up your ass and you're like, I don't know, right? Let's get clear on some things so we can have some trust here before moving forward. Because, you know, at some point here, the relationship is going nowhere, right? The Chariot, the sneak attack, someone coming out of nowhere to take control of where a relationship is heading. You have the encounter, absolutely. You realize that, you know, the way that you feel about each other is the same with the Three of Wands, but definitely all of this crap is getting blown out. Whatever it is that needs to be cleared up, the truth about a situation, all of it's just, you know, done, right? Because Judgment is about stagnation. My God, if I could talk right. In a relationship that needs to be cleared up. Okay, so you definitely have somebody that is keeping an eye on you, them. You know, but the continuously approaching of this person is leading to this. You know, but eventually here it looks like somebody is wanting to take control. And you end up with the encounter. It's just, it's worth waiting for, right? You need to let go of control when it comes to this relationship here. For some of you, you know, with the King of Wands, you know, the person you're dealing with here, fire, male, female, I don't care, right? Like, it's a general reading. Now, with the Sun being there, whoever it is that you're connected to right now, that's a beautiful relationship. It's beautiful. It's good. Happy. Right? The sun is shining on the both of you. It's perfect. With the High Priestess, though, you're talking about, some secrets here. But the secret is that there is a want to have a commitment with the Hierophant. I don't necessarily see this as like the narcissist. The image, though, is a little fucked up, yeah. But it really is about spiritual support for a relationship. But traditionally here we're talking about, the traditional relationship, the commitment, right? And that may be something that you are keeping to yourself or they're keeping to themselves, but you're fine. Like the relationship is fine. The problem is, though, is with the Ten of Pentacles, this is about self-reflection, needing to take a look at who you are within this relationship, right? Especially if you're wanting to have that secure, abundant relationship. The problem is with the Page of Pentacles. This relationship may be great, but if we don't address the issue here of traditional commitment, these types of things, then the relationship is going to go in a bad direction with the Knight of Pentacles. This one bothers me. I don't see this as control. Some people will. But really what this is about is the souring of a relationship, things going in a bad direction, possible overindulgence, right? But the relationship may be souring here because there isn't a whole lot of talk about where it's actually going. Because nobody's opening up about what's being kept hidden. And like I said, this could be you or the other person, but the relationship is good. It's good, right? And just let go of that. Don't, focus on needing to take this to, the marriage level, so to speak. Because otherwise things could go in a bad direction. Okay, all right. So with the Star, again, right, this is such a good relationship. It's healing for you, especially if this is fairly new and you've been through some bullshit in the past, right? You're seeing the bigger and better when it comes to your relationship. You got the Star and the Sun. The Sun is a damn star. You know what I mean? Everything is great. Like, this is good. The problem is that some of you may be feeling a little bit salty here, but they don't know. And that's the thing. They don't know. It's like wanting to have this person make this kind of commitment, but then feeling all shitty because you are expecting them to know, right? They can't read your mind. That's what I tell you, right? But you're pushing it into a place where things may go in a bad direction. But the thing is with the Page of Wands coming out on this, you kind of give up and you look past that. So even if you don't get like the full-on commitment that you're wanting from this person, it's still a good thing for you. You're not being pushed in a bad direction. You just need to let go. You need to let go of wanting more and more, because it's going to go in a bad direction, right? Just give up. Once you do, it's like your kids again, right? Because the Page of Wands is looking beyond appearances. Well, if the outside appearance of this relationship is not fully committed, if you look past that, then you get to indulge in the passion of each other, right? But some of you may be looking at them like, why can't you follow through? Why can't you commit? Let go of that. Just let go of that, right?